Final Cut Pro 11 and the magnetic mask. Everybody is super excited about it. I wanted to compare how it stacks up against the magic mask feature in Resolve, which one is easier, faster, better, all those kinds of things. So that's what we're going to do in this video. I made this kind of crappy, admittedly, composition or composite, whatever you want to call it, in both NLEs. So I'll show you how I put them together, and we can compare how each of the masking features, the AI-powered masking features, work in these two NLEs. And again, this is just for fun. They both work pretty well, in my opinion. Each has strengths and weaknesses and little quirks. So yeah, let's take a look. While I was putting this together, I was trying to use the screen capture, the screen recording feature in macOS, and that was breaking the magnetic mask in Final Cut Pro. I'm just letting you know that I ran into that issue. So I switched my screen recording to OBS, and that seemed to work fine. And I'm putting it out there just so you know, if you're trying to do a screen cap and you're using the magnetic mask and it doesn't work, then maybe that's why. I am going to duplicate this clip, just Option and click and drag. I'm going to turn off the bottom clip by just hitting V as in Victor. And there are many ways you can grab the magnetic mask. You can actually just come over to your little magic wand tool and add a magnetic mask. And you get this little dropper with a plus sign. So I'm going to click on myself, and I don't want that scooter. So I'm going to hit the Option key, hold that down, and select. So you got a green dot and a red dot. And there's some space in between my arm. Click that, add that. Looks pretty good. Okay. And that's really all you need to do. From here, we can just come up here and hit Analyze. I don't know why it's flashing. That's new. You can see the green bar going to the right, and that's starting from the point that I had the playhead on the clip. And now it's going to go backwards, starting from that same point. So you don't have to put the playhead at the beginning or anything like that. It's just put it kind of in a good spot. And you can actually come back through here and check out how it did. If you have any problem areas, like if it starts picking up something that you don't want it to track, you can potentially use the dropper again, and then you'd probably need to reanalyze that. But that looks decent. So again, this is a quick demo. And once you're satisfied, you can hit done, and you can see it automatically cuts it out, cuts out the background. And aside from refining the mask, like in the analysis phase, you really don't have a lot of control in addition to that. So in your inspector, you can see it's added the instance of the magnetic mask, and then you can adjust the feathering. So for instance, here you can see it's a little fuzzy around my hair. So you wanted to try to select less of that, you can do that. But then of course it's going to start cutting in on everything else. So it's a balance. It's not going to be perfect. That's a pretty hard thing to rotoscope, whether you're AI or regular intelligence. Next, for our little comp, I'm just going to add a title, Final Cut Pro. I think I'm going to stick with Helvetica. You know what? That's going to be fine. I can't really think of anything better to do with this. I mean, it's pretty stupid. It's going to go to the beginning, add a keyframe for position, boom, and come to the end. Oh God. Make sure I'm clicked on my title. And so it's just going to be a pretty lame animation from top to bottom. And then we're just going to put the text layer in between, make a little text sandwich, and there you go. That's how easy it is. And now I'm going to come to this bottom layer, and I'm going to use this color adjustments effect that I've already added, and I'm going to click on it. I am going to add a keyframe, and I'll just come forward to about there and desaturate it. So that'll animate in from full color to desaturating the background. So just add like another little element to the little composition here. So I remain in color and the background fades into black and white. And then we have this bizarre animation of Final Cut Pro from top to bottom, bottom to top. Pretty easy, very quick, and it worked pretty dang well. So let's jump over to Resolve. So in order to do this in Resolve, it is a multi-workspace process, just how Resolve is. But we're going to do the same thing and just duplicate our 2 clips. And I'm going to change these clip colors. It makes it easier when you go to the color page to make sure that you know that you're working on the correct clip. So I'll make that one that color, and then I'll make this one this color, I don't know, navy. Okay, so we're going to jump over to the color page. You can also do this in Fusion, but nobody wants to do that. I'm going to click on this node here. It doesn't have anything done to it. And I'm already in my Magic Mask tab. And in Resolve, you have 2 options for creating the mask. You can do an object mask or a person mask. And even though I'm masking out a person, the object mask works a gazillion times better in my experience, regardless of whether you're doing a person or an object. You can also do quality faster or quality better. I'm going to choose better, and we want to make sure we're adding. So we're going to scribble in, just tell it what to be looking for. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you can see it created the mask. If you don't see that, just click on this little toggle mask overlay. And then just like in Final Cut, we're going to track this forward and back, or analyze essentially. So you can see down here you get a progress bar, overall track, and a check mark. And the cool thing I like about this is you can scrub through and you can see, just sort of verify that it didn't pick up anything else as it was coming through. Like right here, you can see it starts grabbing a little bit on the back here. So you can hit the negative dropper and just say, no, don't get that. But you do have to analyze it again. From there, you have to analyze it forward. This process could take a while. Oh my, what? Resolve, you're making it yourself look really bad. So we're gonna call that good enough. It still has some wonkiness where it's picking up the tree, but I don't want to do this again. You also have a lot more parameters for cleaning up the mask here, but I'm not going to go through all of those, but you do have them. And one thing I didn't know in Final Cut is that you do have the option to invert the mask. So here in Resolve, you can see it's invert mask here, so this will apply whatever you do to the outside of the mask as opposed to what the mask actually is. So that's there in Resolve. And in Final Cut, you can invert the mask in Final Cut here in the inspector by clicking on this little guy, invert. See, now I'm black and white. Oh my God. And one more step here in Resolve, you need to add an alpha output, adds this little blue dot. So we're going to connect the blue box to the blue dot. And now we're going to go back to the edit tab, and we're going to turn off the bottom layer by hitting the D key as in Delta. Ooh, it looks a little bad. Oh my God. Resolve. People are going to switch to Final Cut. Okay, but we're not going to mess with it anymore. Select my top layer, drag it up, and I'm going to grab a text plus. Well, it doesn't really have to be a text plus. I don't know why. And we're going to type in the feet. I'm going to size that. The great thing about Resolve is that I can animate everything. I can animate this stuff. I can animate this stuff. So we're going to close down the line spacing. I'm on the first frame. Going to add a keyframe. Go to the last frame. And we're going to just spread that out. Oh, beautiful. And if we add an in and an out, and then we loop, there we go. Definitely has some more wonkiness to it. Last, we're going to go back into the color page. We are going to choose our bottom clip, which we know is our bottom clip because we colored it pink. And in our saturation tab, we're in the little keyframes editor here. I'm just going to go forward a little bit, I don't know, till about there. And I'm going to come over to my color wheels. I'm going to wiggle that around. That added a keyframe, and I'll just move forward some amount of time, and I'll decrease the saturation, and that's all that takes. And that's it. I would say for ease of use, Final Cut Pro probably takes the cake. It works faster in terms of its analysis of the scene. It definitely has fewer parameters to adjust, but it didn't seem to really suffer from that. It didn't need any more parameters necessarily. Resolve has some additional complexity. You do have to go into the color page or Fusion to access the magic mask. You also have to add the alpha node output to enable the transparency. So again, a couple extra things that you have to know how to do in Resolve, but once you figure that out or learn how to do that, then it's really no big deal. But you do have more parameters to adjust to fine-tune the mask. And the other cool thing about Resolve is you can basically animate anything, anywhere, anytime, all at once. Whereas Final Cut Pro is much more limited in things that you can and can't animate, not to mention that it doesn't have easing built into it. But again, that doesn't really have anything to do with the magic and magnetic masks. So hopefully that was enjoyable. I don't know if you learned anything from that, but let me know in the comments how you are finding the new updates. And